distinguished leader, Professor Obadele Kambon. Professor Ɔbenfo Obadele Kambon is an associate professor and research coordinator of language, literature, and drama at the Institute of African Studies at the University of Ghana. He is an award-winning academic, a Pan-Africanist, and a king in Ghana. He was born in the United States. He relocated his family to Ghana from Illinois. He is a world-renowned master linguist, and you will see that in class. He speaks so many languages across Africa. He's a scholar. He's an architect of Abibifoɔ, the oldest and the largest Black social education network on the planet. Professor Kambon was made Chidomhe, a king of the real god of the Mampong traditional area in Ghana. And he was given the kingship name Nana Kwame Pabi Date the First. He has played an instrumental role in helping hundreds of African Americans to repatriate and get citizenship in the Republic of Ghana. He was the recipient of the Marcus Mosiah Garvey Foundation Award of Excellence. He also was the recipient of the Kwame Nkrumah Pan-African Leadership Award. Distinguished leaders, there's so much to say about this great professor. Prof, it's an honor to have you in class. Thank you for being here, and apologies for the little delay in kicking off class. Thank you, Prof. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
All right. I go. So Blacktastic to be with you here today. As mentioned, I'm Ɔbenfo Obadele Kambon, and I will be speaking about, music and things related to creative arts, and then also critical thinking. So because our time is short, I've been told we can go ahead and get straight into it. So give me 1 second to pull up the screen share. And please do let me know when you can see it. Yes, okay. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. Thank you.
All right, great. Okay, so my presentation today is entitled Resonating Rhythms, the Transformative Power of Music, Creative Arts, and Culture of Abibifoɔ. And the subtitle is dealing with insights for media and creative arts leadership in Ghana and across Abibiwiase, which translates to the Black world in Twi. Today is Kwasi Adada Itoso Aduonu Ayewo Homomo Afre Mpimbino Ene Aduonu Nsia, which is 21st June of 2026, and your Ochirechirefo is myself, Ɔbenfo Obadele Kambon. Now, today is the day of the summer solstice, and just to get us in the area of critical thinking, and let me move this out of the way, this is intentional. What you see, this is what they call Horam Akit, or what, in English they refer to as the Sphinx. And when you approach the Sphinx on this day, of 21st of June of any year, what you will find is that the sun sets directly behind the head of it. And the Aket is what is known as the horizon. And when you write in the language of Medu Neter, it's a depiction of two hills with the sun in between. So the written symbol of it, or the med of it, the word for it, is actually what you find. And this is what they refer to as hierophany. This means that you build your infrastructure, you build your temples, you build your buildings, all of them in relation to how the sun interacts with them, how the constellations, celestial phenomena interact with them. But I want us to think about this, because nowadays when we build our homes, when we build our businesses, when we build anything, we're not always thinking about, well, what's going to happen on the date of the summer solstice or the spring equinox or the winter solstice. But our ancestors thought about this very deeply. So I just wanted to start off with this because, again, today is June 21st, and it's a very important day because For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, on this day, the hours of the day are at the longest that they will be at any point in the year. So let's continue. And this is actually from an article that I wrote on humanities and sciences as complementary aspects of our whole as Black people. And this is what I was referring to before. So some of you are familiar with hieroglyphs. Some people call it hieroglyphics. In the language itself, it was referred to as Medu Necher, literally sacred writings or writings of nature. So this is the symbol. So it has two hills and then the sun in between. And this is just a shorthand of what you actually see written on the horizon on the scale of acres, right? So when you look at any of these pyramids, they're not freestanding or, independent of themselves. They are all part of one whole worldview. So this is Akhet rendered as the sun between two mountains. And this is Anthony Browder. Let me come back. It says, viewed from the Sphinx at the time of the summer solstice, when the sun is at its greatest distance north of the celestial equator, it sets directly between the pyramids of Khufu and Khafre, thus writing across the horizon in Akhet on the scale of acres. That's what we're talking about. This is a clear reference to Horus or Heru, the god and the Akhet sign, because anyone approaching from ancient Memphis would have seen the head of the Sphinx silhouetted between the two pyramids, and that's a photograph that we're looking at right now. And this is according to Brother Anthony Browder, who has the book Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization. If you haven't read it, it's a very good introduction to the ancient worldview of our great-grandcestors. So again, Horem Akhet, which translates to Heru on the horizon, faces due east. It interprets the Akhet horizon sign at the solstice. The Akhet is the sun between two lions named yesterday and tomorrow. And you find this in the literature. It says, I am yesterday, I know tomorrow, in the book of Coming Forth by Day. And this is myself standing next to, I don't know if you see the likeness. Does anyone see any resemblance here? If you don't, then I'll get you a prescription for glasses. But if you do, then you know your eyesight is very much on point. So let's turn our attention to who is in the room. I was told that we have media and creative arts leaders from 9 countries across Africa and the Caribbean. Pali has the global community that includes artists, storytellers, organizers, builders, and cultural workers. And the cohort is positioned to shape public imagination through sound, image, narrative, and institution building. And, I've had a long and storied history with Pali. This is myself winning the Nana Kwame Nkrumah Award for Pan-African Leadership that was presented by his daughter, Honorable Samia Nkrumah. And, just some scenes from that. So, yes, I truly appreciate Pali. Pali, I've, seen, appreciates my work as well. So that is in the spirit of reciprocity. Now, before we go any further, I want to call for a quick reflection in terms of what comes to mind when you hear Abibifoɔ, that is the music of Black people, the arts, the culture, as creative thinking. What do you think of or what comes to mind? And you can come off mute if you have the ability to do so. Maybe just 1 or 2 people, and others can maybe put it into the chat. Anyone wants to, speak about what comes to mind when you think about our music, arts, and culture as creative thinking? And I know you all in the media are not shy.
Question for you, leaders.
Hopefully you have the ability to come off mute and I'm not waiting in. The Zoom settings may not allow you to.
Prof, do you want to ask the question one more time?
Yeah, so what comes to mind when you think about the music, arts, and culture of our people as creative thinking, as reflections of creative thinking? How is our music a reflection of creative thinking? How are our arts a reflection of creative thinking?